I'm Steve Franklin, and we're in Atlanta, Georgia, in the Ponce Highlands neighborhood, and this is JavaVino, which is a coffee and wine bar. This is a shop that my wife and I opened, and we roast everything in-house, and we focus on organic and sustainable coffees and just anything that's environmental or socially friendly. My wife and I lived in London for a year, and we were doing work throughout Europe, and we did, throughout our travels, we noticed lots of shops where in Europe there wasn't like an age discrepancy, so you would see 16 and 15-year-old kids having pints of Guinness with their grandparents, and they were all sitting in the same establishment, drinking or just hanging out together and enjoying family. And throughout Europe, you also find that good coffee and good wine or beverages just go together. You go to a cafe in Paris, and they're going to have espresso. They're also going to have nice wine, and same in Italy. So just through our travels and on the back of napkins, we kind of came up with the JavaVino concept, which my wife's family is fifth-generation coffee farmers. My wife's Nicaraguan, and so her family has been farming since the 1890s. So that's 5 generations of coffee farmers, and they do everything organic and everything sustainable. They treat their workers very well, so we wanted to incorporate that side. Probably the most unique thing we do as far as coffee shops, obviously we roast our coffee in-house, which helps make us unique, but for the first time, her family's always farmed, so now with the help of her family, we export, we have control of export, we have control of import, we store the coffee locally, so we import about 40 to 50,000 pounds a year, and we roast it ourselves. And what's unique now is if you come in as a customer and you buy a pound of our coffee, you're literally buying the roasted finished product from the same family that grew it, that planted it, that processed it, that dried it, that shipped it, and roasted it and sold it. Yeah, a lot of people thought we were crazy and who pays money for coffee when you have competition out there, and so little both sides. We have a good background on coffee. We know a lot about coffee from the farming perspective, and we had a lot of support from our family, so which was unique. So we went ahead with it anyway. We work very well together. We kind of separate duties and responsibilities, and my wife's the back end side. She does all the marketing, the flyers, the posters, the accounting, the payroll. She leaves me to deal with customers and employees in the shop, and it's a good division. We both like to do different things, so that's helped out. We're not fighting over responsibilities for the shop. It can be challenging. My wife works full-time elsewhere, running a small business. As much as we're a very successful shop, we're not a overly profitable shop. There's a difference. Part of that might come from what we're trying to accomplish and where our money goes. We're paying premiums for coffee. We're things like that don't make us as profitable as the shops that are going to serve lower quality products. But there's a lot of time. We work. If I'm at home, I'm either packing coffee or labeling coffee or trying to catch up on invoices, and she's doing the same. And we have a 2- and 4-year-old, so that adds. We have a large amount of time we like to spend with the family. We're very fortunate to have a good staff that's been with us for a long time, so we're able to step back, I think, more than some, and trust that the shop's going to be running well. We lived about a mile away from here at the time we were researching, and we were looking for a neighborhood that would appreciate what we were going to do, the environmental and social kind of impact of having good coffee. We look at wine and different products, and we're not overly concerned about if it has an organic sticker on it, but coffee's it's the second largest traded commodity, plus it's the #1 chemically treated product. So if we all buy organic coffee, the world is, and coffee is grown in all these areas that are just full of rainforests and wildlife and support ecosystems that the whole world needs, and, to keep in balance. And it really brings it all to perspective. Like, that's why there's such a push, I think, in the coffee industry to go more organic and more sustainable. And I just don't think a lot of people understand what the impact is. And if the easiest way, if people say I'm a sustainably focused person, the easiest thing to do is just start buying decent coffee. It doesn't cost that much more, and ultimately you'd be doing more good versus some of the other areas where you can choose to be organic. One of the biggest pieces of sustainability is not necessarily offering organic products, or if you're organic tomatoes or whatever you're selling. It's also buying local. So I think people are understanding the local side of sustainability. So they're supporting more independent shops, very few local sustainable roasters. There's a couple, but we're probably the smallest one in Atlanta. And, we don't expect to win everybody's business, but we only try to work with people that are a good fit for us. We want to work with other small independent businesses, value add, where we can learn from each other and have kind of that common network of shop owners. Have kind of a neighborhood concept where people can come in with their kids, or they can meet their friends. So this was just kind of made sense. A little bit of luck. It's a good group. We know everybody. Everybody knows everybody. We try to encourage conversation, and we're in a kind of a hub here on the Highlands, the Ponce Highlands, and of political activity in this and environmental activity. So there's a lot of people that have a lot of things to say, and it's a good place to come and converse about that. We're neighborhood focused. We don't do quite the commuter traffic. We definitely get a lot of drive-by traffic, but we're more of a come in and hang out. A lot of our customers now all share a table because they come at a certain time of the day and they expect to see certain people. It's neat that our morning customers will come back maybe for lunch, or they'll come back for a glass of wine in the evening. They might visit us 2 times a day on a good day.